They told him poverty was a curse, but they never told him it could have claws. Tsepo was 28 and tired. Tired of hustling, of borrowing money, of dreams that stayed just that, dreams. Tired of dodging landlords, of side eyes from girls who wanted a soft life and not a struggle. He had tried everything: drop shipping, forex, crypto, fake sneaker reselling, but life remained the same. He was still hungry until he met Bramkopozi behind the taxi rank in Soweto, the one who drove a brand new V Class, always in shades, even at night. His presence was dark and heavy, but Tsepo couldn't help but be captivated by his words, as if he was in a haze, a state of being mesmerized and not in a good way. You want real power, ne? Ramkobozi asked, chewing on a matchstick. You want to eat properly, ne? Jabu hesitated, then nodded. At this point, he was going against everything in him that told him to leave. The inside voice that screamed for him to flee the place and never look back. Ramkobozi leaned in. You must twala, Twanayami. Ukuthwala, wide-eyed Sebo chuckled. Ain't that for old rural men snatching wives here and there? Kanti inganekwane? His voice shaking and mind running, he assured himself that this had to be a joke. That's the fairy tale, Bramkobozi said. Modern day ukuthwala is different. We take something else, and not all that nonsense about blood and family you've heard about. And that night, Tsepo was shown the truth. A 20-minute drive felt like forever. He was in a state of panic, small prayers here and there, but he never changed his mind. Soon they arrived. In a crumbling warehouse near Johannesburg, Tsepo met with Isangoma of the Black Well. His eyes were milky white, his voice layered like three people speaking through his throat. You seek to escape poverty, he said, but you need to feed something in return. No introductions, no pleasantries, just straight to business. This was his first time visiting a Sangoma, and even he knew there was more to this abrupt scene than meets the eye. But Tsepo's desperation and need to succeed was more powerful than logic. What must I do? He asked. You must bring me a woman, he said. Not to marry, but to promise, to love, and then to break. Tsepo didn't understand until he explained. The modern day ukuthwala wasn't always physical, it was energetic. You'd lure someone into love, promise them forever, and when they gave you their trust and love, you tear it away and feed their spiritual despair to Isilwane inside the well. It grew fat on heartbreak and betrayal. The tears of the heartbroken maidens are a source of sustenance for Isilwane. Tsepo didn't want to hurt anyone. He was a good person after all. Then stay poor, the Sangoma shouted. He left, but 2 weeks later, when his girlfriend dumped him for being jobless, when his fridge buzzed empty, and a funeral came for his uncle without money for the cow, he went back to Isangoma of the well in the darkest of the night. The first was Zanele, a nurse with kind eyes and dreams of going to Canada. He met her in a Telegram group. They spoke of love, of dreams of the future. She trusted him. He ghosted her 3 weeks after she sent him her location and a beautiful love poem. He returned to Isangoma. The well gurgled. The next morning, his account had 50,000 rands. He wept, shame and guilt eating at him, but he spent it, paid for the funeral, and still had more than enough to spare. This was definitely something he could get used to, he thought. Each girl gave him more. Not just cash, but status, deals, handshakes, new nightclubs, expensive cars, luxury brands. His Instagram became black silk and all things gold. Mr. Manifest, they called him. Tshepo Forbes was his new nickname. As much as Tshepo was having a time of his life, he was still not happy. And one night, in a dream soaked in red mist, he heard singing, low, dark, and haunting. Amadlozi ayakhala, amadlozi ayakhala. He saw the faces of every girl he had used for ukuthwala, each face melting into the next, screaming silently. He woke up choking. His own breath smelt like rot. Bramkupozi laughed when Tshepo told him. They never leave, he said. You don't twala them. They twala you, Ntwana Yami. Your mind, your conscience, your humanity, your tears of torment. That's the price for ukuthwala. You can never escape the pain and torment you subject others to. That is the truth you should have asked for. The terms and condition you never bothered to ask about. He laughed like the pain Tshepo was going through was his very own entertainment. On the day of the biggest club launch, Tshepo's left eye started to twitch and it went blind. Just darkness. The doctors found nothing. Then the other eye began to twitch, showing glimpses of faces and reflections, smiling women, dead eyes, dark waters, and eerie drums playing in where it felt like was in his mind. At home, he began hearing eerie voices in the fridge, in the pipes. His own reflection lagged behind. And at the launch party, he saw Zanele, the one he truly loved and still sacrificed anyways. She hadn't aged, but her dress was soaked in water. Her eyes were fully black. Tshepo, she said, though her lips didn't move. The well is thirsty again. At this point, he screamed, but no one heard him. It was as though he was stuck in a time loop. This torment lasted for what seemed like an eternity. The next day, they found his body in the warehouse. His eyes were gone. His phone was unlocked, but all messages empty. Instagram wiped. Just one story remained. A black screen with a voice singing softly. Talenti yaphilisa, futhi lento inabungozi. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Moral of the story is nothing worth having can come easily. If it does, then there will be consequences. Be careful of the deals you make. Be careful of the choices you make.